Hey guys, long time no see. My name is Victoria and you're watching Plantastics. I basically show you all the things that I'm growing, what I'm learning, and so on and so forth. So let's show you what's all going on in my propagation room. You may remember that I had a ton of baby violets. The trays are empty. You can see that they've been moved up. I'll get to them. So here are all of my Aroids and a Sarracenia, but mostly Aroids and epiphytes. So Miltoniopsis are hands down my most favorite orchid. I know people struggle with them. I love them. They do incredibly well for me. I just keep them in sphagnum without anything else. It's just straight moss. And then I spray it down with distilled water. And this one's my oldest one. I've had it for 2 years and I've gotten it to rebloom. And you can see there's tons and tons of just growth. All those little pieces, those are all going to be new plants. And I learned my lesson. I divided it last time and I posted it and people were losing their minds. They're like, you don't need to divide these. Well, the person that has the division, it's like doubled in size for them. I sold it on eBay and they're really happy to have it. But this one's Hajime Ono Raspberry and I've gotten this to rebloom. It does pendants, so it'll have 3 or 4 flowers, kind of like a Phalaenopsis, but it's not as plentiful. Here's another one and here's another one. This one honestly isn't doing that great, and then this one's just perfect. It just finished blooming, so it just got some fresh moss. Here are my anthuriums. So I've got this one, which is a Dock Block Unknown and a Magnificum. I've got a Silver Blush in here right there. And then I've got, I believe this is Zara. She's pretty. Here is an anthurium I grew from seed. I purchase seeds pretty often. I like to gamble. I've gotten some variegated and sport anthuriums that way. And it's just a fun surprise because you don't really know. They say they cross it with X, Y, or Z, but they really don't know because they could have something transferring it like a fungus gnat or something. You know, nature finds a way. So this one is really beautiful, and I'll let you know what it is because I believe I have it. It's the Forgetii Dark Form and the SKG Silver, and I had 3 seeds that I purchased from that seller. 2 of them were the same thing. I culled one because it just wasn't growing, and then the third one was a Basei and something else I can't remember, but it didn't make it either. So here's my corpse plant. As you can see, it is branching like crazy. All of these receive the same kind of fertilizer. They get an orchid fertilizer mixed with some growth hormones, which is basically just a kelp solution. That's one of my cattleyas. It's honestly the same age as this other one, and you can see that this one is popping off. Now, cattleyas grow roots, it sounds like seasonally. I'm new to them because I honestly was kind of intimidated by them. I did purchase a super sick one, and it didn't have any roots. I got it on clearance. At the same time, I got these 2 cattleyas, and I ended up throwing it away because I got so frustrated with it. It just wasn't growing roots. I love putting basil in things, so I just have this for herbs, and you can see crazy root growth on that. And then some succulents, my really sad euphorbia that I burnt, and this desert rose that's in sleepy mode. I did water it, so it is kind of leafing out in that one spot, and it's a graft. It's the Black Widow, so it's going to be pretty badass looking. Okay, so here is this euphorbia. So I basically put it in the sun too fast, but it's really funny because it only burned on one side. And yeah, so she's literally scarred and traumatized, but I'm not going to do that again. Okay, so here are my succulents. I take cuttings from all my succulents basically every year, so that way I can keep them because they get so big in the summer I can't bring them inside. So here we are. Here's the ATLI Eon. It's a time-lapse camera. I had the lights on 24/7 to record, and then I started getting really tight center, so I turned it off. And then this can't reset the brightness for some weird reason. It takes pictures at dark, and then when the lights turn back on, it is overly bright. So I'm going to put this somewhere else because the footage is not shareable at this point. Okay, so here we have all these baby violets, and you're going to notice, because I'm going to point it out, we've got Barrina T5s, and these are different And then we've got more Barrina T5s. Why are they different? Well, I really wanted nice round centers, so we've got a mix of warm and cool light. I just had really tight centers with the Barrina T5s. They were just a little bit too strong. These two are not African violets. These are pinks. They eat gnats. They're carnivorous plants. So just to show you what all we got going on here. So, Rose Bouquet, beautiful. She's a little slow, let's be real, because I had a ton of other African violet propagations that I got. And I think these were started in September. All of these were started in August. So they've been growing. It's now January for a couple months. And this one just isn't growing as quickly as some of the others. But it's okay. She'll catch up. Because I put them, the other ones that I had that were babies, I put them into pots about this size. So yeah, Midnight Waterfall, we do have some success here. We'll see how many this yields. And I moved it out of the tray to this because I just emptied out the tray because it was just a lot. I didn't want to have these in the trays because that would just be too many violets. So now the only propagations that I have are Wrangler's Green, Wrangler's Green Pasture. It's in water. And I have 5 or 6 other leaves, but they're not in here. They're in my office. So yeah, you can see these. So I'm trying to get more. Once they have quarter-sized leaves, at least 4, I'm going to start posting them on eBay. Now, some of these are kind of going crazy. Toy Castle, I don't know how many babies we've got here. I've been trying to put my minis and my trailers in these little Jello shot cups because it's just less soil. I was killing them by putting them in pots this size. Now, Jolly Deer is a mini, but it's in that pot now, so it's just going to have to be there. And Toy Castle is a mini as well, but it's in there. But basically, at some point, I started putting them, you know what I mean, like in the smaller cups. Because I lost so many. This is my only trailer that I was able to keep. I lost so many of them that I just started putting them in there. But yeah, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Look how many babies there are. Look at that. Look how many on Night Dew, and it's a micro mini. This is from one leaf. I don't know how many babies there are, but you can see that I planted this August 22nd. So like a few days after school started. And here you can see everything's cleaned out. I think this next time around I'm going to try a different substrate basically. I think this time around I'm going to do sphagnum moss and perlite. I had such a strange issue with these weird things. I think that they were basically some type of isopod, but basically my plants kept dying and their populations kept growing. So I was like, I don't think they were killing them, but I also read about these nematodes that cause root rot. I had a lot of turnover and I'm just trying to try something new. Now, what I did like is that I used water and the water doesn't come into the contact with the bottom of these, and I use trays. So instead of watering every day because these dry out so quickly, I put the trays on top, and I honestly didn't have to fuss with them that much, and I really enjoyed that. So I like these trays because they don't come in contact with water at all times. I just think that this next time I'm going to try a different substrate. And by next time, I mean, this tray is going to have to be empty, so that way I have time to properly give attention and time and care to these. And this is my Cattleya that's popping off. Look at all that growth. And I fertilize, and then it's distilled water time. So I like to kind of just give their roots a break. And you can see this one was really dehydrated when I first bought it, but now with its newer leaves, they're less dehydrated, I guess. But, yeah, I guess the ones that are kind of like, you know how Lowe's is, they kind of just get them and they set them there. And this one, you know, I don't know if that will ever refill. I asked somebody that was more familiar than I am, and they said it won't. But you can see that this one, these newer ones are nice and plump. I try to water them every week. So, let's go on. There is my Christmas cactus. I broke off a lot of growth to try to fit it into this shelf. and it's not blooming. So I'm kind of curious if that was a bad idea. Meanwhile, this one has not stopped blooming. And it's red. The other one's pink, and I have this hot pink suit. And it literally matches it. So I was kind of sad I couldn't take a picture with that this year. Okay, so here is my plant corner. You may recognize a lot of these plants. They were on my back porch. It is 20 degrees outside, so obviously they had to come inside because these are all tropical and they will just freeze. But yeah, so my Frydek and my Tanderusa. My Tanderusa is like 2.5 feet tall at this point. I purchased this almost a year and a half ago, I believe. It's one of my very first videos on my channel was me planting this Tanderusa corn, and it's the same one. It's crazy. And my favorite thing in the world is to get baby plants and like grow them. So I feel so proud having that one. The Frydek I got as like a baby. I think it had 2 leaves and it was really tiny when I first got it. And it's beautiful. So I had a huge problem with spider mites. I ended up spending probably $200 buying predatory mites, and I released them like 2 or 3 months away from each other. What I should have done is release them within 2 weeks. And I'm working on a new project where I'm going to have a lot of plants together that aren't normally together. So just in case somebody's got mites, I'm going to release another 10,000 predatory mites. And I like to get the assorted because these red velvet mites don't come to play. The predatory mites I ordered the first time, they weren't enough. But the assorted mix, I don't know who is in there, you know, kicking some red velvet spider mite butt, but there's one of those, and I can't obviously figure out who's the MVP of that predatory mite mix, but I found that to be much more effective. So if we go over here, now Christmas is over, I get it, but I love a poinsettia, okay? And this one, I believe, is Jolly something, but it's different. It's not just solid red. It's got some red, it's got some white, so I haven't gotten a poinsettia in probably 2 years. So I got this one because I'm like, it's red, it's white, it's Christmas, it's also Valentine's Day. So I like it. It's literally glowing. It's so red. So my family knows that I like plants. So I've gotten several amaryllis and I am excited. Unfortunately, I didn't keep up with who's who. I did buy this one myself. I think all my girlfriends got amaryllis for Christmas. This one was like $5 or $6 and it came from Lowe's and it's beautiful. Normally these larger amaryllis flowers, they just last a day and they close, but this one's been open for a solid week and it's fixing to open another one. And then these have tons and tons of stalks. And then at some point, well, probably not this year because I got so many bulbs for Christmas, but I like to order from Longfield Gardens. Here are my begonias. So I kind of like to have a theme, and this theme is begonias. So I tried to put as many begonias as I could over here, and I reorganized some stuff since last time. So this is my micans, and it's beautiful. It's crazy. It's literally, just look at it. It's giving life and craziness. Now this is my woolly begonia, and she is really tall. I am always having blooms on it, and it's so soft. It's like a bunny rabbit or, you know, a puppy or kitten. Like, it's just so soft and velvety. And then the flowers are fuzzy on the outside, and on the inside there is no fuzz. And I guess that's to aid in pollination, help the bees know where to go, and so on. So Pied Piper is really interesting, and you're going to notice that it's gotten more green. It's because it's not sun stressed right now. It's much further from the light. Meanwhile, Maurice Amy is turning pink because she's getting more light than she was. And then back here we have this torch begonia. Now, begonias, cane begonias are what I have mostly, I believe. This and Megia are my only Rexes. But yeah, cane begonias can either grow kind of like horizontally or they can grow straight up. Cecile, Sophie, and Maurice Amy, they like to grow straight up. Now, this torch begonia, it kind of grows out long, and this one is kind of the same. And this one is a maculata. I believe it is my special angel. And then we have this beauty here. This is the Philodendron Splendid. And it is just, it does have a little bit of burn here. But it's just such a beautiful plant. Like, look at it. Look at that. It's got that velvetyness like a varicosum, but it's got a little bit more of the resilience that comes along with the melanochrysum. And I cut it up. This was going to be its top leaf. It was running out of room. And I cut it and then just put it in the soil, and now we have a whole nother one. And that's the top of that. So, and you can see here there's another growth coming out. So we're fixing to turn on some more lights to kind of see what's going on here. Okay, so got my peperomias. This one is always so beautiful, and I keep the tag because I forget what it's called. It's called Napoleonites, and it came from Kroger. This one is an Optimara. I think it's Kentucky. The tag's in there, and I don't feel like getting it out, so you're just gonna have to believe me. This is a viola. I can't read the tag, but yeah. These are my peperomia. I just water them occasionally. This was my most sad plant when the spider mites stuff was going on, and it's doing really good. It's leafing out. It's loving life. It's bounced back. This is a Noid, and it's just so beautiful. I mean, just look at it. This is my Easter cactus. I got this from a trade from someone at a swap, and it's grown so much. It's going to hopefully bloom for me. Here's this gal. She's seen better days. I don't really know what's going on here. So I moved it to where it's not directly under the light. Here's a syngonium. I traded this with someone as well. This plant is literally exploding. The fishbone calathea, it's so beautiful. It's in this tiny little pot, y'all. But you wouldn't know that based off of the foliage. It's just all leaf. It needs to be repotted, but I'm really trying to wait till spring because I know once I start repotting, it's like I get carried away. I have to repot everything. We've got our two vining plants. This is the best. I mean, it's beautiful and it is gorgeous. It's a Scindapsus. Don't really know the name, but it's beautiful. I got it, and it's just, I've never had success with one, and now look at it. It's literally taking over. It needs to be cut again. This is my Philodendron Brassel. This is the oldest plant in my collection. I've had it since 2018. Guess who this is? This is Midnight Waterfall. And there's some flowers. They're really early. See? It's got a long way to go because you know this one has those huge 2-inch flowers. Here is a beauty. I can't remember if this one's. When they start to look like that, you take them off. And I have just trays so you can kind of see what goes in there. I just kind of keep them. Oh, also look. I have actual moss. Sphagnum moss. I grew that. I actually put it in there last Christmas and forgot all about it. And somehow there's a corm in there. Don't know what it is. And I'm growing sphagnum moss, guys. So I didn't mean to do that. It just got forgotten and happened. Here are some of my African violets. This is Picasso. Crazy. Look at that big leaf. And we've got Jolly Deer. This one's so weird. It's like growing upside down. But yeah, I just have them in a shot glass because I was pruning leaves and I put them there and they just live there now. So we have Texas 2 and Louisiana Lullaby. This is the first flower I've had on a Texas 2 since the incident. I chop this thing up every spring, and every spring it comes back. It just doesn't stop. It's like a crazy peace lily that just grows crazy, and it's always always blooming. Always blooming. So, the last room. Also, I put in some stuff. I'm fixing to be writing on a whiteboard a lot. The Vivarium. Y'all seeing this? It has grown in so much. So, what I like to do is, I don't really cut anything in here. But what I will do is I'll just take something and kind of tuck it. Like this. You can't really see, but it's like basically braided. And it'll be okay. So we got all kinds of stuff. Just really loving it. Living life. And you may notice there's something that lives in here now. Let's see if we can find him. I have a camera up because I got so paranoid and afraid he wasn't eating. So now I know he is. There he is. You can kind of see him. I'm not trying to scare him. I don't really handle him. I like to watch him eat the little paste stuff and whatnot. But yeah, he's got his own freaking fan cam. This is my melanochrysum. I still don't know how I feel about it. I like all my other plants, but this one I'm kind of indifferent to. And I don't know what it needs, but it seems like it really likes not being in the light. So maybe I just give it too much light. I don't know. Here's my string of hearts. I've got the regular and the variegated in the same pot. Here's my Xanthoma, just like literally just beautiful. So healthy, so beautiful. It really needs to be repotted because it's got a couple of little babies in there. So, and here's my cute little puppy dog. Yeah, she just wants to be pet. Isn't she precious? She's so precious. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's see what's in the window. We've got the platinum peace lily. This is the best this anthurium has ever looked. Like, it has more than one leaf. And then these are basically in dormancy. And then my cacti are in another window. And, yeah. This is an exciting new addition I got for my birthday. It is an anthurium silver Peru. Let's take a closer look. It really is silver. Like, it's almost like a minty silver. It's really pretty. I put this in the window and it got burnt. This is a trailer. It may need a larger pot. I'm new to trailers. Edge of darkness. Constantly blooming. Constantly showing out. Always etiolated. I have it literally where all the lights meet and it just seems like the leaves are still not laying flat. Don't like this one. Gone. In the trash. Toy castle. It got powdery mildew and I put it in the guest bathroom and almost forgot about it. I don't know how long it was there for, but it doesn't have powdery mildew anymore. So that's great. And here we have Buckeye Cranberry Sparkler. She's my most beautiful. She's constantly blooming. Here's my Darth Vaderina Green Spot Hybrid. And it's actually 4 separate plants. So we're just working on getting it acclimated to ambient air. And I actually do have a hydrometer, I think that's what it's called, in this room, and it's at 45%. Here's Picasso. I need to like play with my soil, so I've stopped using fertilizer when I water, and I'm still getting fertilizer burn really bad. So you can see that browning, that's fertilizer burn. It's like an orange crust. The plants are trying to get rid of the excess fertilizer, and they put it out in the leaves and it ends up burning the leaves, and then they become necrotic. So this right here is dead. That part's dead. Here's little Sonia, and we have Rambling Right Along. So in this corner we have the Hoyas going crazy. Okay, they didn't grow all summer, but now that it's winter and it's 20 degrees outside, they're like loving life. And I understand it's pink, it's a little sun stressed. I keep having issues with aphids. Let's see if we can see any. So yeah, look at them. They're all over everything, and I don't like I don't like spraying, so I've just been pulling them off. But it's weird because I'm like, where are they coming from? Because it's the only plant that has them on there. And I think when I brought them in from winter, there were some, and they were just waiting for new growth. And they've just been having babies like crazy. So this right here is the most beautiful plant in my entire house. Look at it. It needs its own room. Like, it's huge. And when I'm working at my desk, I'll hear something move over here, and you know the leaves move throughout the day, and it's just like, I guess it's created enough pressure against whatever it was touching, and the leaf just moves, and it gives me anxiety because I'm like, what's in the corner? And I just have to remember it's this plant. It's basically got its own personality. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to make a bonsai or try to shape these desert roses. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing or what, but I'm trying to make an S shape with this one, and with this one I'm trying to make like that cascading down look that they have. I just like read some blog posts, looked at some pictures. Don't know if I'm being successful or not. This is my philodendron branditonium, and these never grow right for me. Look at it. They just look weird. This is my second time trying to grow this plant, and if you don't see it in the future, you'll know what happened to it. But it just doesn't flourish like all my other plants seem to flourish. This is several different nepenthes. They're all the same variety. But yeah, I feed one, I give fertilizer to one, and then nothing to another one. There's lots of pictures here though. It's nice. And this is like a big pot, so I only filled it up halfway, and it does have a wick. But it's not sitting in water. Nepenthes don't like that. Okay, so I have this on a pot, like as a saucer, kind of prop it up. I knock it over randomly. But hopefully I'm not going to do that right now. This is my silver dragon, and it's doing the best. This is great for Hoyas, okay? Someone told me about this stuff, and I used it on my Hoyas like 3 weeks ago, and now there's so many new leaves. There's a little bit more in there. But I use it on other plants too. I kind of just get to spraying, and everybody gets some orchid plant food. This is beautiful. I'm trying so hard not to touch this leaf because every leaf has some kind of like a deformity because it gets bumped. It's probably because it's right by this trash can. But yeah, this one is beautiful. If you want an anthurium that's going to double, triple in size for you, get a luxuriance crossed radicans. That's what this one is. It's constantly blooming. Okay, look at these. There's 2 blooms right now. So this one's about to fade out. I'll just show it to you because it's fixing to fall off anyways. So this one's pretty much spent. It's done. And this one is okay. But this is really an anthurium for foliage. You don't really care for the flowers because they're not as ornamental. But yeah, this leaf happened while I was in Europe, and it honestly didn't get any water. I don't know how it was able to put out a new leaf at all. But it's like hard, like a rock. And if you look really hard, it looks like there might be spider mites on there. But yeah, somehow I've never gotten spider mites on some plants that are apparently really prone to it for some people and not others. But yeah, this one's perfect. Look at that leaf. So perfect. It's got some dust on it. This is my scalprum. This is the best it's ever looked, okay? Also, I think I'm fixing to get all new flower pots that are blue china. I just really like the look. I don't know if it's part of getting closer to, you know, getting older, but like I really love blue china. So I got this one for like 20 bucks somewhere, and it's so pretty. This is like a really weird looking leaf. Maybe they're burnt. Maybe they're getting too much light. I don't see any pests. But yeah, this thing grows so slow anyways. It's easy to overlook. But yeah, this one, there's a fishtail Hoya in here. There it is. There are spiders in here. These are not spider mite webs. I have spiders everywhere. I'm not afraid of them. They're basically living here rent-free, and they eat something because there's a lot of them. So you can see, it looks like there might be some flowers there. So we're gonna see. And there's a cute little baby plant. Let's see if I can show it to you. Look how precious. So precious. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the very center of one of these. Let's see one that's fully open. I'll just pop it off. Boop. Okay, let's look at it. So just for a scale, it's pretty big. I don't know if it's a full inch in diameter, but it's really cool because it's honestly dark around the edges, and it's like a double. So you can kind of see it's flat, and then it's got pieces kind of sticking up in the middle, and it shines. Look at that, it's like glitter. Anyways, let's talk about this thing I put in the window and forgot about. Okay, hopefully I don't hit anything. Okay. Sometimes I'll put stuff in a container, and what I end up doing is I say, I'm going to label that later. And I don't. I don't know what this is. I have a strong suspicion it's Gillian. Gillian. And, look. I've got more moss living. Look at that. It's always when you don't try that the best things happen. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I had such success with this one, having forgotten it in a window, that I think I'm going to move over. Like I said, this next round of propagations, they're going to get perlite and shredded moss. I have a blender just for stuff like this. So I'm going to get some moss wet and blend it up, because that's what I do with extra appliances when I get new ones. I use them for weird stuff like that. But yeah, so we've got these cute little baby plants. So precious. And I haven't watered it since I put it in the window. You can see all the roots. Look at them. They're these white little stringy bits. There's one. You can see it really good. There's one growing on the wall. And this was a candle. And yes, I bought the candle because of the container. Because look how cool that is. Like, it's the perfect plant container. It's got this cute little cloche on top. But yeah, so that's what's going on right now. I'm working on some pretty big projects right now. I'm taking a huge exam this year, and it's going to determine what I can do with the rest of my life career-wise. So you may not hear from me. I'm going to try to post monthly. And as always, I'm always on Instagram, and I just created a Facebook page. It is Plantastics on Facebook. And yeah, so look me up and follow or like my page there. And yeah, so as always, oh, I forgot all about these. So I put in this whiteboard with command Velcro stuff because I didn't want to put holes in the wall. And I put some of my larger plants on the wall, and I got a new grow light. I really like it. It's a Barrina. They started making more grow lights. People were like buying all their stuff to make, you know, all these vivariums and stuff, and they're just like, you know what, we're gonna roll with it. But yeah, so I have this pothos here. It's 5 years old. It's huge. And then I've got some more philodendron, just regular, and then this is a brassel. But yeah, so that's where I write notes, just try to study and whatnot. But yeah, anyways, I'll be seeing you soon. Be sure to like this video if you want more content like this. Be sure to subscribe if you'd like to see more. And as always, comment your favorite plant, and I'll be seeing you next time. Goodbye.